Hey guys, welcome back to the Heavenly Minded Homeschool. So something that I wanted to share about a little bit today is my 10 essential items in the first year and a half of having a new baby. So Olivia is baby number 4 for us. She is a couple weeks shy of being a year and a half old. And I was sitting around thinking about it. If you look at the way we in our society look at motherhood in general is very negative. It really is not good. It is not biblical in any way, shape, or form, the way that we look at motherhood. And one of the things that we so often comment on or believe is, oh, kids, they're so expensive, right? You can pull up calculators of how expensive it is within the first year of having a child, how much they're going to cost you. And many times you see families talk about, oh, I don't even know if we can afford to have a kid or afford to have another kid or something like that. And that's also something that kind of brings us in, again, we have 4 children. Not that, we have the biggest family ever or anything like that, but people usually comment or wonder, especially when you say that you are living by faith and you are not relying on careers and incomes and things to meet your needs. One of the biggest things people wonder is, well, how do you afford to have so many kids? And my thought on it kind of was, not that expensive. Surely they need things and there are resources that need to go to my children. I believe in putting, focus of our resources on high nutrition, on experiences, on certain things, but that doesn't mean that they're expensive per se. And especially having this new baby, with our mindset, we try to keep things more minimalistically focused. For us, kind of living life in a biblical scope and taking scripture at its word and living our lives based solely off of that leads you to a minimalist mindset when it comes to your possessions and what you have and what you spend your resources on. We should have what we need and nothing more, give the excess. And I think especially when it comes to babies, this is a really big topic where we really are ingrained with information that sends us just going overboard with all the stuff, and it's just so unbelievably unnecessary. I was 17 when I had my first child and 31 now when I've had my last. So I've definitely gone in, various ways of thinking we needed all of this stuff and having money, so we bought all of this stuff, to having no money and making do with what we had. So really, I feel like we've kind of gone on every end of the spectrum, and the more you think about it, there's really only a few items that you genuinely need. And so I wanted to share just my 10 must-haves that we have used for a year and a half of Olivia's life. Everything that I'm going to share is stuff that you most certainly could get from thrift stores, online yard sales in your community, borrowing from friends and things like that. There's only one item on here that we purchased brand new, and honestly, if I would have been patient, which I should have, I could have gotten secondhand. We happened to have a little bit of money and I was really excited and I purchased one of the items, and I could have totally waited. I think it was maybe 3 weeks after I purchased it that a local Facebook yard sale, somebody had posted one and I could have gotten it for a fraction of the price. Kind of kicked myself for that one, but that's what being impatient will get you. But everything I'm going to say on here is something that you can easily get from many different resources, very cost effective. Not that all of them are actually really that expensive anyways, and I will link everything, an Amazon link, if you are looking for something or would like to go and see kind of what we got or something similar, just so that we can share all of it. But I really do want to encourage motherhood in general, because especially if we're looking at things from a biblical scope and living our lives based off of that, motherhood is kind of held in, one of the highest esteems. So it is something that we should really stop and think about how we view motherhood, and things like being concerned about, oh, I don't know if I can afford another kid. Oh, they're so expensive. and letting these expenses make you, a lot of times women are like, well, I have to work. I can't stay at home with my kids. There's no way I could afford that. Well, what is it that you have that costs so much money? What is it? Maybe you need to reevaluate what those things are so that way you can make it work and you can be with your children, because nobody is going to care for your children like you can care for your children. Thus, God giving you these children and not those other people. So my 10 must-haves when you were thinking of a frugal and minimalist collection of items that you would need for a child. And again, these are things that we have used for a year and a half, and I really don't see in the near future anything else that we would need to get. This is kind of it. So number one thing would be a pack and play. We have had standalone cribs. I've had really fancy, expensive cribs. Honestly, get a pack and play, unless you really want something. My kids have always been in our bedroom and co-slept with us. I love it. I am all for it. I think there are many, many, many great strengths to it. That doesn't work for you. That's between you and your husband, but I'm just sharing what we have done. So having a pack and play that we can have for them is perfect. I have had to have C-sections for every single one of my children. So the pack and play, having the like higher newborn setting that you can put it at, is a lifesaver for me because I can't bend and do those things. So love the pack and play. We even had the one with the changing table on it. She has now outgrown that, but that was really nice to have again as well, just as far as not having to bend over. And I like having a diaper changing station where I just have all of the stuff there together. It makes it really super easy. You're not hunting around needing stuff if you just always change them in the same spot. I'm not going to go ahead and add this as like an official thing that we had, but I got, and I'm not going to officially link it because it's been recalled and people have like crazy stories about it, but we loved it and it was a lifesaver, is my best friend got me the newborn, what are they called? Rock and play or something like that. But it had a slight incline to it, and it was just the, it was like a little rocker sleeper thing that we had. Or maybe I'll link it if I can find it just to show you what I'm talking about. I had one of those. If you watch any of our old videos, you probably saw Olivia in it all the time as a baby. That thing was a lifesaver for me. That was the only thing she slept in for the first 8 months or so of her life. She slept in it amazing. That was the only place that she was right on. It was super lightweight, so I could move it around with me throughout the day, so she could sleep out in the living room or wherever it was. I love that thing, but I know they've recalled them all, so I don't want to officially link it as something we recommend because Lord knows. Second item that was a must that I wish we would have gotten a little bit sooner, but my brother went ahead and bought it for Olivia's first birthday, was just a high chair. And we made sure to get a high chair that will fit all of the stages and can adjust to be like a booster seat when she gets older. It was inexpensive from Walmart, but we did get just a nice high chair. It folds up so that way I can put it up against the wall. It's easy to move. The kids can do it. And then I even just have like a pack of bibs and I just attach them. There's a bit of a hole on the back that's part of the apparatus that I just attach the bibs to as soon as they come out of the dryer. So everything's right there in one spot, super simple and easy. If your high chair doesn't have something to attach the bibs to, you can put in a command hook or something like that on the back of it. And then it makes it really super easy. But a high chair would be my second must. Obviously a car seat. These are not in level of importance either. They're in level as I remembered things as I was writing them down, or in order, not in level. See, it's a big day, you guys. So much going on. Car seat obviously is a must. We bought ours secondhand. I wish we would have been able to purchase a convertible car seat, but I was getting ready to go into the hospital. Olivia's birth story is a long story, which I shared on her birthday actually, but it was in an emergency setting, bumped up even earlier than it already was. She came about a month early, and so we found one that was a standard infant car seat, and it was like, that's fine, just get that. A friend actually picked it up for us, thank goodness, and it was what it was, and that was just fine. If I could have planned a little bit better. I would have probably found a secondhand convertible car seat because now, year and a half, we don't have her in the car quite often. She can still fit in her infant carrier, but it is time that she needs to be in another one. So we'll be having to look for that here soon. So hindsight being 2020, I would have bought that in the first place. That's what I had for my other kids. We just didn't think we're having any more kids, so we didn't have any of our stuff. The next thing would be a boppy. This boppy, you guys, this is the boppy that we got when I had Lily. Lily is now 8 years old. We have had the same boppy. When our oldest was born, Travis, nearly 15 years ago, I got a boppy. He used that boppy as like the pillow he slept on until he literally wore that thing flat. Boppies are a must in our household. We love them for everything. Feeding, nursing, even if you're not nursing, you're using a bottle. They play on it, they sit up on it. We love boppies. So had to have that. I also would recommend, even if you are planning to breastfeed exclusively, which was my goal and plan with all of my children. Lily, I nursed for about 1.5 years. Travis, my first, I really wasn't very equipped for, so I only nursed him for about 4 months. Virginia did like 6 to 9 months, and then she honestly just stopped. She wasn't a big nurser. And Olivia is still nursing, and she's going on 18 months now. So, highly recommend that even if you're planning to nurse exclusively, to have a pump, and a good quality pump. I'll link one down below. A friend of mine had one and she said we could borrow it, which was a super big blessing. Your insurance may allow for you to get one. The hospital may have ones that you can rent. Look for your local Leche League. There's many resources when it comes to that. With Olivia, I'm so glad that I did have this put together in the first place at the house just in case, because she was born so early. She was teeny tiny, and her little body was working so hard just to eat that she wasn't gaining any weight. And so I had to exclusively pump for a while to get her up to gaining weight. And then of course, you never know, you might need to go somewhere, something might happen that you might need it. So I think that's kind of an important thing to just kind of have on hand, because you never know, what instance, and especially if you feel strongly about nursing and about breastfeeding your child, having the resources there to help out with that when things happen, instead of just going to formula, I think is a big help. Obviously, if you're formula feeding, then this doesn't even matter, but that would be my goal. But to have the pump and one bottle. I got one Comotomo bottle. Comotomo, yeah. And the tops you can actually take off and attach to a mason jar if you want to use that. But I have found that the more bottles I have, the more I would use all of them and like constantly be searching for a bottle and could never find a clean bottle, and there's bottles everywhere and all this other stuff. If you have one bottle, guess what? You stay on top of it because you have no other options. So minimalist, frugal, and easier on your life. One bottle is all we had. So that and a pump is something that I definitely would recommend if that's what you're into and looking for. Next item would be the jumperoo. The jumperoo was the one item that we bought completely brand new. I totally should have waited, but I didn't. I was really excited and I bought it. I have had a jumperoo with all 4 of my children, and it is one of our most used must-have items. Obviously, you don't need to use it for quite a while, depending on your child and, their growth and stuff. But for me, having a place, kids, they always want to be standing up, they want to be bouncing, and I can't always be holding them and doing that when I'm trying to do a bunch of other things. And so for me, the jumper has always been an amazing resource. Olivia still to this day, every morning when we wake up, she hangs out in her jumperoo. She's walking and doing all of the things that a normal 18-month-old would be doing, but she enjoys it, I think, because she can do things, but then she also kind of just like sits in it and hangs out in it. It's something that, yeah, she absolutely loves and enjoys. I don't know what I would do without the jumperoo, especially if you have multiple kids, trying to homeschool, trying to cook, trying to do all the other things. You need somewhere safe that they can be playing and doing things and working out some energy. And so the jumperoo has always been my go-to resource when it comes to things. If I could have nothing else for my kids, when they start becoming mobile and kind of getting around, than a jumperoo, I'd pick a jumperoo hands down every single time. Love them. My next items, well, kind of getting grouped together, would be just a simple basket of toys. All of our toys were things that were given to us from friends. I don't like to have a lot because it becomes overwhelming. They don't need to be overstimulated, but a few just sweet little toys. I have some that are really lightweight, some that were a little bit heavier, some that crinkle, some that make sound, some that don't, some that are just wooden blocks, little board books. And then we just recently added a bag of the big Lego blocks that we got from the thrift store for like $1. So we got that for Olivia. All of the other children are Lego maniacs, and she can't play with their little tiny Legos. So when we saw the big ones, we said, okay, I think Olivia needs her own Legos. And the big kids go in there and build with the big ones with her. It's so cute. But we did go ahead and get her some of her very own Legos, which she's actually really excited about. But a basket of simple toys. I like having it in just a little basket, so that way it's super easy. Anybody can help me pick up. All of her stuff stays put together. We are constantly throughout the day going and just gathering all of her stuff, putting it back in there, and then she goes and gets it and pulls it all back out. But simple little basket, keep everything together. We don't have a bunch. It's not overwhelming. All of the big, cool, flashy toys that light up and do all of the things, we just don't even waste our time and money with. If you are interested in any of those, go to any of your local thrift stores. I guarantee you there will be tons of them, because people buy those really expensive, ridiculous toys, and then in like no time flat, they end up donating them to thrift stores because they take up a bunch of space and end up not getting used eventually. So we just keep it really, really simple when it comes to toys. I would much rather her be engaging with her siblings, with us, with just playing and moving and using things. And let's be for real, she would much rather be in the cupboards playing with pots and pans the majority of the time than anything else, or looking out the door at her chickens. She loves chickens. So that's what she spends most of her time doing. So when it comes to things like clothes, this is where it's hard, because stuff is so cute and so many well-meaning friends and family, I'm sure, want to get you a bunch of things. But I try to keep a minimalist wardrobe for all of us within our family, myself, my kids, we all do it. And even for the baby. So with each size, I've actually not bought any clothes for any of my kids for a while, because we just get thrift store hand-me-down stuff for all of our clothing, even most of my clothing. And so I usually try to keep about 3 to 5 outfits, 3 to 5 jammies, 3 to 5 socks, or 3 to 5 of all of the things. But outfits, like put together total outfits, pajamas, sleepers usually, and then onesies. You always need to have some separate onesies, and then socks. And I have 1 pack of bibs. That's it. That's all I keep. So whenever we get stuff that people have donated to us or that we've picked up, I just go through it and pick my absolute favorite outfits that I know I'm going to want to dress her in over and over and over again, and donate the rest. I think a huge thing too, I mean, like I was saying, we don't look favorably upon motherhood. We really, really don't. We may think we do, but we don't. And so I would much rather take all of the excess that I have, all of the extra resources that I have, and go and donate them to somewhere that I know is trying to help mothers. So pregnancy crisis centers, women's shelters, look at different ministries at the churches in your area that are helping women who are struggling and are maybe not sure what to do if they've kind of become pregnant. They're thinking they should give up their baby because they can't take care of it. That breaks my heart, because there is so much that can be done in a community. It's not just about stuff, but so much support that can be given to make sure that every mother knows that God has perfectly chosen them to have that child, regardless of the situation of how they ended up there. No child shows up by accident. The children only show up because God chose for a child to show up there. And so let's give our resources and give our support and give our prayer and help and everything else to those parents, so that way they can succeed and see what an amazing gift that child is from God himself to that woman. So any of the extras, always like to go and give that to a place where I know it's really going to be used in an amazing way to the glory of God's name. So that's all I keep as far as outfits. The next thing would be cloth diapers and cloth wipes. I started cloth diapering with our oldest nearly 15 years ago and have cloth diapered for all of our kids. It is so much cheaper, so much easier, so much healthier. You can go on and on and on here. We use cloth diapers exclusively. I will share the pack that actually I have the original diapers that we started with our son Travis 15 years ago. Fuzzy buns, we loved them, we used them for all of the kids. They have definitely been well used. We've shared them with friends and family members. They've gone through so many kids and they're fantastic. But I was all planned and ready to use them for Olivia as well, and I have used them. But my good friend Alexis, who does the Mary More Than Martha show with me from In His Season blog, she had gotten some, they're really inexpensive, off of Amazon, the Alpha Baby diapers with these charcoal bamboo inserts, and they are phenomenal. I love them. They're cost effective. They don't come with all the fancy, name brand stuff that some of the other ones have, but they work fantastic. Absolutely love them. The charcoal bamboo inserts hold so much, so much. All of my children have really sensitive skin, especially as babies, and so having that for her, I mean, they've just been fantastic. They keep her super dry, no rashes. Very rarely have we had any leaks, and anytime we have, it was mainly user error. It was our fault and not the diapers. So we love them, absolutely fantastic. And then I even took some cloths that I had and cut them up into squares and used cloth wipes this time around, and so much better, especially if you're already going to be washing diapers. To throw the wipes in with it, it's really not that big of a deal. You use less of them because the cloth, it does the job so much better than the disposable ones. You don't have to worry about chemicals and things. I just, as I go to use them, dampen them with water and we're good to go. So very thankful for that. Yeah, it's fantastic. The other thing, which I didn't think at first myself, I also bought this brand new. This was a special treat, kind of a splurge item. We got it on sale. It was a great sale, but this is the other item that we got. Is a friend of mine had constantly raved about her Lilla Baby carrier. And I've been a big fan of always wearing babies, carrying babies in those types of carriers. I've had various different ones throughout the years, starting with our oldest, like I said, who's 15. I've had the ring slings and the Moby wraps and all of the different things. I had a Moby wrap that a friend had given me that we've passed back and forth a few times. At first, I love Moby wraps when they are teeny tiny. This one would have worked as well. But for me, when they get bigger, the Moby wrap, it's kind of hard to use when they're older and trying to do all the wrapping and the fabric and the stuff. It just, especially if you're like in a parking lot or store or something, to me, it's kind of ridiculous. But she had one of these Lilla Baby carriers and had always talked about them and just raved about it and loved it. And I had actually tried hers a few times and I was like, oh my gosh, this thing's amazing. And so they had a sale where it was like buy one, get one. And so I said, you know what if I go ahead and find one of like the clearanced ones in there to get and do that. I love these things. Absolutely love them. So we have two. One I keep in the car, one I keep in the house, and that's just so when you're out running around, I hate that when I get there, I'm like, dang it, I always forget to bring it, but leave one in the car, one in the house, and I use it all the time. I can carry her on the front, I can carry her on the back, I can carry her on the side, you can do it when they're teeny tiny babies. Heck, I can put Virginia, our 6-year-old, in it if I wanted to. So I throw her in that thing all the time. We don't need a stroller. You don't need any of that other stuff. You just put the baby in the carrier. They're happier to be on you anyways. It's safer that way. When I need to get housework done, I'm trying to get school done, I can nurse her in it if I need to. If we want to go out on a hike, if I'm doing homeschool stuff and I need to be hands-on with the kids, I can throw the baby in the carrier. If she's being fussy and needs to fall asleep, but she only wants me and I have things to do with my life, put her in the carrier. I mean, there's really no way that the carrier doesn't get used. When we go out running errands, instead of putting her in the yucky, gross carts, I put her in the baby carrier. Yeah, pretty much use her in the carrier for everything. So 10 items that you must have. I would say pack and play, high chair, car seat, boppy, pump in a bottle if you're gonna, use that, jumperoo, a basket of toys, simplistic 3 to 5 item per category of clothes, cloth, diapers, and wipes, and a baby carrier. Those would be my 10 picks. Okay, I know technically some of those items are like multiple items, but you get the idea. Those have been the things that we have used. Like I said, other than the fact that I know we need to get a convertible car seat for her now that she's getting bigger. But like I said, my whole family doesn't fit in our car, so therefore we don't all travel at the same time very often. So the baby usually just stays home with whoever's staying home. But that is something that we're going to need to deal with here in the near future, I know. But other than that, I don't even foresee us getting anything different, needing anything different. Make do with what you have. So hopefully that helps if you've been thinking about, kind of minimizing, what do I need to keep? Maybe you're looking forward to having a baby. What do I actually need? Anything extra that you have, though, I really do want to make sure that we are drawing to scripture to see what God thinks of motherhood and how he speaks of these things. We're going to be going through it starting next week with this additional Bible study that we're kind of going through and doing. But what does God say about the importance of motherhood, and how can we lift up and support others who are moms and struggling in this area? Because for being for real, most of us either have been or are currently in that position ourselves. And so any way that we can support other moms and help them, even if it's by way of taking the excess that we have and giving it to someone else and providing a need that they have, that's a wonderful way to be able to do that, to open the door for support and counsel and help and prayer and all of the good things that there might, kind of come of that ministry you could have in giving and sharing of what you have with other moms. So those are the things that are the must for me. Again, I will link all the ones that I can down in the description box below if you want to check them out. If there is anything we can do for you, if you are a new mom, a struggling mom, thinking of being a mom, wishing you can be a mom, whatever it might possibly be, if there's anything at all that we can do for you, please reach out, let us know. I would love to hear from you. Leave a comment, check out our Instagram, all of the ways, they're all down there. So thank you guys for hanging out with us today. I'm gonna go get back to the kids, and we will see you all tomorrow. Thanks again.
What are you doing with the potatoes? Dude, man. Really? Ollie, Ollie, Ollie. What are you doing?